Hi guys, we've now had our delivery of our wood, as you can see. So I've laid the planks out here and we've also got the decking planks there. So the first thing we're going to do, because we've bought sort of raw wood, is we're going to protect the wood. So we're going to paint a protection on it. It needs 2 coats, so it's going to take quite a while, and I'm going to paint all the planks, all of the support beams, and then we will cut them to size, ready to start making the decking. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So I've done 2 coats on the beams, just nearly finishing now, and then I'll have to move on to the boards of the decking. This is going to make the frame, and then we're going to have the decking on top. So done 2 coats, move on to that. It's a boring job. I know where my post is going to go, and we've got these spikes here, and I've got some blocks of wood that I've used to hammer, to basically be able to hammer it down so I don't wreck the wood that we've got, the posts that we've got. As you're hammering them down, you need to make sure they're absolutely level both ways. So as you're hammering, you've got to constantly be checking to make sure they're level. So I've just screwed in these posts into the spikes. So I've drilled a pilot hole, and then I've used some coach bolts to screw them in tight. Obviously our decking isn't going to be this tall, so we will cut them at a later date when we know exactly the right height. So in the UK, you could probably put these poles in concrete, and in the UK you can get this fast setting concrete. In France it's really difficult to get hold of, so we've just opted for these spikes instead. So we're ready to start building the decking. So as you can see, I've got 2 posts here, so we're going to put this line in first, and we want the decking to rest on the wall. So I've got an off-cut piece of board, or the support that we're going to use, to rest on the wall, so I can mark where the decking is going to sit. I'm then going to level it across and mark on the other side. Now, because we want a bit of a fall so that the rain runs off, so we're going to do 2 mils every metre. So here we've got a 3 metre length, so we're going to do a 6 mil drop on that side so that the water runs down. So I've marked here, I've marked there, I know where the beam's going to go. On the actual beams themselves, I've drilled holes like that, so that the bolts, the coach bolts that I'm using 100 mil coach bolts, and they're going to go in through there, and obviously I've made it nice so that the bolt sits in neatly. And then I've marked it on the wood, drilled a hole there, so I'm now ready to put the big beam with the coach bolts all the way through to support this big beam here. I've also just put some paint in the holes I've drilled to protect the wood. Normally in the UK I'd use grain end protector, but I can't seem to find that in France, so I'm just using the wood protector paint that I've got already. So we are ready to build our frame into our area that we've cut in the ground. But first we're going to put the weed liner in, which we've done, and I'm going to fill it with gravel so it keeps it down, but also it will be supporting the framework and stop the frame ever touching water. And also the gravel will help stop any weeds grow. So I'm going to rake the gravel down and also try and level it, but I'm going to use the back of the rake so that I don't pierce the liner. So as you can see, we're getting there. The frame's in. So what we've done is, obviously we started with this line here, and then we've built the outer frame there, and then we knew that our centre line here was 190. So I've cut these beams at 190. I've fixed them at the far end with coach bolts before I put them in or drop the frame in, because this side I can obviously work from, but that side I can't because we dug the ground in. So I'm now just fixing the last few middle sections before I start the other end. So because we're going to be putting our swimming pool underneath this beam, the plan is to sit here so we can dangle our feet. That's what the wife wants, so that's what she's getting. So we're going to put these beams here, or these support beams, just because that's where we're sitting. So I just want to make sure that this area here is really supported quite well. So we've got these posts that we've left high because we're going to put some rope in between them to stop anyone falling over. But because we've left them in the decking, I'm going to have to cut the deck boards around them. So I'm just measuring them using my set square, measuring around, and then I'll cut them out so they'll fit nice and snug around the posts. So I'm now laying the deck boards down, and you really want a space between 5 to 6 mil Now the decks came on these spacers, and funny enough they're 5mm, so it's perfect. So I'm using them as my spacer, running the deck board down, drilling pilot holes and then screwing them. Now it's good to start doing one on one end, and to screw a screw on one end and then level it on the other end and screw that one and then do all the others. It just means you've got a bit of leeway to kind of make sure that your deck boards are level. So I've bought specialised deck screws. I've gone for their 4.5 by 7.5 length. You probably could have got away with slightly smaller length, but these are the only ones I could get at the time. So this post we don't want, so I'm just going to cut it off at the same level as the support beams so that we can put the decking over the top and you won't see them. So now I'm just going to paint over with the wood protector. If you've got grain protector, that's great, but we're just going to use the wood protector and paint over this raw cut. So we've got the deck boards down, we've screwed them all in, it's solid, it's looking really good, I'm really happy with it. The next thing is to give it a coat of paint. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give 2 coats of paint to make sure it's had a good protection. For the posts here, what I've done is I've just marked them all and I've cut the tops off so they're all the same level. And yeah, we're there, ready for the painting, and we're nearly there. I'm really pleased with it, but I'm knackered too. It's 37 degrees here at the moment, so I think I'm going to wait till the evening before I paint this. So, the decking's finished, we've got the second coat on. As you can see, I'm sitting here and I will have my feet in the pool. The pool's set up, there's another video for that, so you can catch that next week. I'm just filling it with water at the moment. The last thing we've done on the decking is we've cut some holes in the post here, and we've bought some rope that we're going to put string between the two of them so that it gives a bit of a barrier so people don't fall off the decking at the 2 far ends. We've also bought some safety fence to go in the middle here, which we'll take on and off depending on when we use the pool, just to make sure no one falls in the pool. But I'm really proud of this decking, it's solid, and I'm going to look forward to dipping my toes in the water on maybe a sunnier day. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. Click the link to subscribe to my channel and watch all my other videos. Cheers guys, bye!